think what is important is that artists or any form of expressing our feelings along with our thoughts, because that's what I think makes the difference between those who engage with poetics and a way of working with the different flexibilities and adaptabilities of language. And here, painting is, of course, a form of language. Um, that's what I have been um, trying to work with in alliances and forming allegiances with small groups, because that is where most of the time minorities can practice their own form of what they might feel as a free time or a free way. Um, and talking about free ways, sometimes we are able to go above and beyond all of those highways that even artificial intelligence is going through now. And what I did in the book is I tried to play not only with the senseless and horrible idea of race, quite fragmenting the human race, in fact, which is the only um, legitimate and logical, I think, way of using that word race. But the other aspect that I was uh, very concerned about is, of course, raising human intelligence and human feelings with technologies as much as we might accept what technologies have been doing for us. And I have been um, a beneficiary, let's say, of advances in medical technologies because I have just gone through struggling with cancer successfully. And I hope that many others who are struggling with cancer and other diseases will be able to take advantage of the benefits of medical technology. But I think that there are things that technology does which um, tend to make the lives of minorities more difficult because we're not there yet in understanding how they work. And because they go much, much faster and tend to put human behavior in some kind of a bind so that life must go only for those who really can speed not just highways. We're not talking about highways anymore. I'm more concerned about that. And I think that this is where not just artists, not just minorities, but all of us um, in small ways um, are going to be able to say, now, wait a minute, technologies, wait for us, because it is not just our right to be able to come along. You have it as your duty. Those of you who are engineering life and all of the things that are connected with making life possible, not only now, but in the future, as horrible as sometimes we feel the future is running away from us, in fact, running ahead of us, as we've seen during the last few days, not only from the elections in the United States. But that's a different topic. I want to talk about and to emphasize my concern for what artists can do. And now I'm going to apologize that I have to run because I am, in fact, preparing for an event this afternoon where we're looking at the ways artists might be able to deal with water as an environmental campaign, um, but using the arts of water. And I hope, Svetluša, that perhaps in the future we can look at this aspect of the environmental climate concern, that water is sometimes something that we allow to just happen to people, as we see in the news, and not something that we might relate with from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed with a glass of water. I hope that we will be able to continue this discussion on arts and politics by presenting the ways we deal with trailing the arts of water. And thank you very much. And I'm sorry that I'm leaving you, Sharon, but it was um, very, very good having this link up and listening to some of the things very important that you said about art and painters and images and their roles in seeing to it that we have at least a continuation of the fight for free speech.
Yes, Camilo, thank you so much. And it is really wonderful to hear that you got better, and I wish you all the best. And there will be recording from this seminar. I will send you the link. I would like to continue what you said, like what artists can do before we go back again to Sharon's art. Here I'm sharing with you a photo reportage from yesterday's protest, March for the Future of Culture. It is done by one of the most recognized photographer in Slovakia, Boris Nemet, and he was so kind and nice to give permission for MIRI seminar to showcase these photos today. So here you can see how yesterday the streets in Bratislava looked like. The people from different areas of culture came together. They came from different cities, and they were demanding that the power interventions in the culture that take place without discussion of representatives of culture stop immediately, and they want Minister of Culture that I mentioned before to resign. And it is really a good example to see how can people, artists, or people from culture communities, but also other, come together and resist the power interference from politicians into politics, and how they can fight back. It is a really good example of resistance. And also, I want to say that in Serbia, you were mentioning earlier, Camilo, engineering. In Serbia, we have now a very difficult situation because of the tragedy that has happened at the railway station in Novi Sad, the city that I come from. 15 people were killed by when the part of the station fell down. That was reconstructed, and it was not reconstructed. Some politicians claim it was reconstructed, the other didn't. 15 people died because of this, and people went to the streets demanding the justice, criminal and political responsibility. And the students of the Faculty of Drama have joined this protest also, and they got beaten by the supporters of the regime and put to the police custody, students, and kept there for days. Many are still in this custody. And what the students of the faculty has done, they started to boycott the learning process, demanding politicians to fulfill their different kind of demands relating to this strategy and accountability. And many other students from high school and other universities, faculties joined them, and they are now blocking their institutions throughout the Serbia. And this might be start of the fall of autocratic regime. So Sharon, I wanted to ask you if you have a similar situation in Scotland or England, and what do you think, can the artist be those agents that will counteract to the recent backlashes of against liberal democracy, against human and minority rights? Can artists and art, and if yes, how they can bring positive change? We see now here two exemplary cases from Slovakia and Serbia that if people unite, resist and fight for their right, that might be a way for a better future for all of us.